Continuing our time with the Minerals Commission. In today's time with the Minerals Commission, we are going to continue our discussion on the operational manual for small-scale and community mining, which was recently launched by the Honorable George Merkuduka. He's the Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. Now, in last week's edition, we discussed the rationale for the development of the operational manual, the qualifying requirements, and clarified the difference between small-scale and community mining. Today, we are excited to have with us once again Mr. Nelson Ahedor. He is the Director, Small Scale and Industrial Minerals of the Minerals Commission, to throw more light on the operational manual for small-scale and community mining. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay. Yes, it's a pleasure to have you as always, sitting in for tea. So, as a prelude to from last week's discussion with you, what is the administrative and governance structure for the community mining scheme?
Yeah, thank you very much. The community mining scheme is being implemented by the government through Minerals Commission. So, as implementing agency, we need to put in place some administrative and governance structures to actually assist us to fully operationalize the scheme. So in that regard, we put in some structures, like community mining oversight committee. That is very important structure that's supposed to oversee all the operations in the designated areas. And you also put in place code of practice. Those are a set of rules that are set out to guide the operations of small-scale miners. As you said the other time, we want the operations to be best practices, to be very sustainable, to be responsible. So we need to put structures in place to guide the operations.
Okay, we have pictures from last week's event when the Honorable Minister launched the event, but doing a recap again, for the purposes of someone who's just watching us for the first time in this series, this is the ending of the series. What is community mining? The difference again between community and small-scale mining? Just hush, so I can continue our conversation.
Yeah, as you said the other time, community mining is a policy that has been rolled out to actually tackle illegal mining and to encourage effective local community participation in small-scale mining. So basically the difference, as I was saying the other time, was community mining is a community-based operations. It is for the people in the community. So it is more or less a subset of the universal set called small-scale mining.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just a subset. It's a small-scale mining. It's just a subset.
Okay.
And it is operated under minerals and mining laws.
Right. And then also, what is the role or the responsibility of community mining, the oversight committee, I beg your pardon? What is their role?
Yeah. The oversight committee, that is the administrative structure that has been put in place to actually oversee all the operations in the designated areas. So if you see the composition of that committee, it is the members of the District Mining Committee prescribed under Section 92 of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006 at 703. And these members are 6. They have the District Chief Executive there, who is the chairperson of the committee. You have a member from the District Assembly. You have the representative from the Traditional Council. You have representative from Environmental Protection Agency. And you have representative from Inspectorate Division of Minerals Commission. And of course, the District Officer of the Minerals Commission. So if you look at this composition, these are more or less the regulators and the owners of the land. So they are given the sole responsibility of all mining activities that are happening on the designated areas. That has been brought out in accordance with Section 89 of the Minerals and Mining Act.
Right. Can you also recap the procedure, take us through the procedure for acquisition of small scale or the community mining license?
Yeah. As you said, every mining operation requires a license, and that license must be granted by the minister responsible for mines, that is lands and natural resources. You know, sometimes people think Minerals Commission grants license. We don't grant license. It is only the minister who can grant license. But we are like the technical wing of the ministry. So we actually process the license and recommend to the minister to grant. So the process involves, you know, we have a blockout areas for small scale mining. So if you're interested in undertaking small scale mining, you find the area of interest. If you find the area of interest, you go to the nearest district office. We actually establish district offices all over the country, very, very close to the operations of the small scale miners themselves, because we are bringing the administration of small scale to the doorsteps of the miners themselves, so that the interactions can be so easy. So you get your place of interest, you go to the nearest district office, you inform the officer about your place, then the officer will advise you to draw a site plan of the area, because the mining license, it is not just like any other license. It is not like a driving license which you can obtain in Kumasi and drive in Accra. Sure. The mining license, they are site specific. So the officer will advise you to draw the map of the place you are interested in. And for the small scale, that place should not be more than a certain size. By law, they say it should not be more than 12 small scale cadastral blocks.
Say that again. 12
small scale cadastral blocks.
Cadastral blocks.
Exactly.
Right.
So because if we come to our cadastral system, that is the mapping system, we have blocks. The whole country is divided into blocks. So for the small scale cadastral blocks, one block is about 2.1 acres. So if you are taking a maximum of 12, it means small scale mining license cannot be more than 12 times 2.1, which is 25.2 acres. So you cannot take anything more than that. And it should be multiples of blocks, which is 2.1 acres. So after drawing your site plan, you submit everything to the district officer with the necessary documentations, and the district officer will visit the site to inspect, something we call pre-licensing inspection.
Pre-licensing
inspection. It is more or less the baseline studies of the area to know actually what is on the land before the license will be granted to you. So if they see that everything is okay and the pillars you put on the land conforms to what is on the map, then they will recommend your application to head office for further processing. So the head office to vet the application. If everything is okay, they will do something we call gazette.
Gazetting.
Yeah, we cause gazette to be done for 21 days.
Okay. What is gazetting in your language?
Gazette simply means publications, just to give information to the people that this company is about to work in this particular area, so that if anybody has anything against that operations, the person can inform us for us to, analyze the concern before we grant the license to the person.
And that will be in probably the dailies or the newspapers for 21 days.
Exactly. We'll publish it in the newspapers, especially the newspapers that are common in that area. We'll publish in the newspapers, and we give the notice of gazette to the stakeholders in the area, like the district chief executives, like the traditional authorities, and even opinion leaders in the area, religious leaders. And we even paste the copy of notification on the land when you're about to work for 21 days. So if 21 days there's no objection, then the district chief executive informs us that no, we can go ahead, because after publications nobody objected to the process. Then from there they will recommend to the minister, and the minister will also take his time to study it and then approve the recommendations.
Okay, so ideally, how long does it usually take from the acquisition process till the time the minister recommends and you're given the license? How long does it take?
Yeah, it's supposed not to be more than 91 days.
Not more than 91 days?
Yes, if everything is okay. Even it can be about 60 days.
It depends.
Yes, it
on
depends.
The assessments and what they find.
Exactly.
Right.
Because
okay.
if there are some mistakes, you have to ask you to correct those mistakes before we continue.
And is there a code of practice for community mining? Is there a code of practice?
Yes.
Okay. Can you throw more light on that?
Yes, we develop code of practice for small-scale mining and community mining. And this one is actually legislative requirement. So Minerals Commission is supposed to develop that code of practice to actually guide the operations of the small-scale miners. So if you see the code of practice, it's a set of rules. It's more or less, the rule of engagement. So all the prospective applicants will be given this code of practice. They will know exactly what they're supposed to do, what not to do, all the do's and don'ts. You know, if you go to all the mining areas, the activities, they can impact either positively or negatively.
Okay.
So the code of practice is developed to minimize the negative side as far as health and safety issues are concerned, and to optimize the positive side of the operations.
Right, and then also, okay.
Yeah, so if you see that code of practice, we talk of the operations itself, what the miner is supposed to do.
The rules that govern the day-to-day activities of the miners, basically, that's what it is. Right, and then also, can you show our viewers a typical small-scale and community mining scheme design or setup? I'm sure we'll be having that on the screen shortly, but before we get that, maybe you can throw more light on it. That's it right there on the screens. That's it. So maybe you could speak to the pictures for us.
Yes. We are saying that before you undertake community mining, basically you have to put some structures in place, facilities in place. Especially your administrative setup must be there. If you don't have those things, it means we cannot even launch the community mining. So if you can see the pictures, you have something we call your offices, just basic offices, because you have to ensure that you have good housekeeping in your operational area. So the administrative office, you need to have office for maybe the receptionist, office for the mine manager or the person who is in control of the site, for the environmental officer. You need to have basic first aid post or mini clinic at the site. Right. As we talked about last week, you know, mining is hazardous. A lot of things can happen, and you need to put at least some structures in place to handle anybody who suffers from any accident. So you need to have a first aider if his or her office. So it is part of that structure. You need to have a changing room.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to, as expected from everybody, you have to have basic structures in place, your workshop, your area for vendors, and you need to keep the place very neat.
I saw in the list earlier on our screen, I saw a borehole. That's a requirement. Yes,
not necessarily a borehole, but potable water.
Potable water.
Yes, you need to have potable water. It's a requirement. If you don't have it, you cannot launch. You need to have washrooms.
Right. So without these basic amenities, you cannot even begin to think of having a mining license.
Exactly.
Okay.
That is what you find in the manual.
Okay. And so number 16, page 16, 3.4 says that mine support services, and if you permit me to read a little, it says that persons and companies registered and permitted by the Minerals Commission and other institutions may provide the following services to assist in the implementation of the scheme. So the first one, I, is exploration, and then mining, environmental management, equipment hire, financial services, centralized processing unit, gold trading, and That's just it. Maybe you can throw more light on this for us. Can anybody, maybe if you have equipment for mining or exploration, can you just go and bid to, say, render your services to these mining companies? Or you have to go through, just throw more light on this.
Yeah, we have to go through. You know, as we started with community mining or small-scale miners, you know, we are mindful of the fact that these miners may not be able to mobilize enough resources to undertake mining because, you know, mining is capital intensive. That is where you open that window of opportunity to other people, businessmen, who are not necessarily concession owners, but they are interested in investing in mining, to register with Minerals Commission and provide mine support services to the small-scale miners. So those are the type of services that you listed over there. They can register with Minerals Commission and then provide that services to the small-scale miners. So services like exploration can be done. Even the mining itself, on a contract basis, can be given out to a contractor who registers with Minerals Commission. Or you can establish maybe a centralized processing unit. Or you can establish maybe a plant pool to hire machines to the small-scale miners. But that's when you have to register with us. You can even register with us to trade in gold or even provide financial services to the small-scale miners. Or all the activities then provide to the small-scale miners. So basically, that is how it is. So anybody who wants to invest in mining, you just come to Minerals Commission and register as a mine support service provider.
Mine support service provider.
That you can render that service to all the registered miners.
Right. Mr. Ahedor, final, do you have any closing remarks? Anything we might have missed? Anything you want to highlight?
Yes. The most important things we want to tell the general public is the government has put in place structures to help anybody who is interested in mining. You want to avoid illegal mining in this country. So if you want to engage in mining, just visit our district centers. They are very close to you. Visit them. They will advise you as to how to acquire license and operate in an environmentally sustainable manner. You know, so we are appealing to everybody who is interested in mining. Avoid the illegality. Go to the district officer, a place to be provided for you, because you have blocked a very large areas in the country. We've blocked about more than 140 areas across the country, covering more than 6,000 kilometers square. So if you're interested, we'll find you a place to work. So don't engage in illegality.
All right.
Kindly go to our district offices for assistance.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahedor, for coming in. In today's time with the Minerals Commission, we've been speaking to Mr. Nelson Ahedor. He's the Director, Small Scale and Industrial Minerals of the Minerals Commission, and he's been here and he's been throwing some light on the operational manual for small scale and community mining. Now,